Okay, hey everybody, this is Grace, and just right as I was about to start this video, a butterfly flew past me, landed on the bricks right here on the side of the house, and it's so beautiful. Of course, it's a butterfly, it's beautiful. But anyway, I'm a little distracted because it's so beautiful. But anyway, in this video, I'm going to basically talk about, this is not my first rodeo with this stuff. And to jump real far ahead, I had suspected that one of these, people who claim that they can't afford groceries and they can't feed their family and themselves, and they're E-Beggars. They're lying. They're grifters, whatever you want to call them, swindlers, or some of them are charlatans. They do it that way. So many words for it, like I've said so many times. Because I've been seeing these on my original channel. Well, my original channel started 11 years ago. 11 years making videos. I was on before then. But 11 years, so I have seen plenty of these. It's like 'tis the season. And sometimes these days I think it never stops being the season. But when, in the earlier days, every once in a while, boom, you'd have somebody come up. And the other ones would crop up like weeds, And, not my first rodeo. Like I've said before, it's like if they're scripted, they pretty much follow the same script, how they go about doing it and all that. And they get money from their audiences. Lots of money, too. Some of them, lots of money. And your idea of what's lots of money, your mileage may vary. But let's just say lots of money. And, and not my first rodeo. And I'm gonna start making videos about them. And I do this every year, and I don't say their names unless it's by accident. I've never known myself to accidentally say any of their names. Nobody's ever said anything like that. I have. Nope. I don't say their name, their channel name. What? Some of them aren't even, it depends on which social media platform. I wouldn't say it, most of them. I don't say if it's on a different one. There. And anyway, I've known patterns. And also this. At some point, some way, somehow, it's probably just like it is for me, I will see people doing videos about other grifters, so forth, E-Beggars and all that, because it's recommended to me. I'll say, well, which one are they talking about? I don't know any of them who are like me and don't name the person. I don't do it because I'm just using mine just to vent, just to, something that's I've seen in my world, and this is, in my view, very wrong. What they're doing, how they're using people, and so I vent. Pressure release valve. Okay. So I don't say who they are. I'm not a reaction channel in that way. I'm not a, they used to call them drama and gossip channels. What else do they call them? I don't know. But, names change on everything as time goes by. It's pretty much just been my experience in life. And, anyway, one of the things that happens is, you got it. Either they get recommended my channel, and so they watch it and they figure out that I'm talking about them, or somebody watches my channel who watches theirs that's recommended to them, or whatever happens, it gets back to the person. Now they will be a clue here. They tend to be to have a lot of subscribers. They're not small channels usually, although they may start off that way. Okay, they might start off as small channels, but they work it, man. They work it. And they build up above small channels. Now, a small channel like mine, I say this, but I have multiple channels. And if all the subscribers were on one channel, I would not be a small channel. Okay? Been around 11 years. And I'm not after money. So, I don't beg, I don't plead, I don't want. Like I've said in other videos, you never know what can happen to you in your life. So, anyway, 11 years. 11 years. And Anyway, what I know is that it'll somehow, some way, whatever magically happens behind the scenes that I have no idea, they learn that, you know, boy, it sure sounds like, but they don't know for certain. There's the thing, they don't know for certain. But what they do, and it could be that this is what they do. One of them did. They copycat. One of them would copycat as many people around her age as possible. She would steal things about them, like their own catchphrases, or their, you know, signatures, kind of thing. They're like me. One of my personal stories I mentioned, and uses her own. She tried to use my degrees as her own. I played a game with her. Kind of, sort of, not really. I was talking on I'm an independent, so I don't pick and choose any sides. But this one I did, kind of. It was the opposite side of hers, and she didn't know it. Because she steals people's ideas, you see. She can't come up with her own. And her audience got a little upset. I really didn't do it for her benefit. It really wasn't for her benefit. But at some point I saw that what happened, because she copycatted so many people. I am wheezing a little bit here. Okay, but anyway, you know, some of them somehow, but there could be other ones because, like I said, it's as if it's scripted. And then whenever they finally, like whatever they're needing that money for right then and there, once they reach that, they start all over again. They start working it. Start laying down the foundation for the next big grift, you know. Big, oh, catastrophe happened. And then they go through the same thing all over again. Lather, rinse, repeat. Now, they see that I'm, you know, to jump back over to this side. They see that I am talking about these things. They could assume that I'm talking about them. It might not be them. Because they all do something so similar. Really, and some of them actually go out looking for other people who are talking about this stuff and steal those ideas. Got all that? Put it all together. Anyway, one of them, I think the big one, shouldn't put it that way, but I know several of them right now. Several. And there's one of them that is very similar, I mean, extremely similar to the other. I mean, I think they're in cahoots, really. I've seen that before, all these years. But, you know, just imagine, and I kind of knew this because I have I have a rare health condition. She does not. Okay. And my rare health condition is pretty serious. But nobody would really know it. Even doctors. Okay, doctors, they want to go into denial about it because it's so rare. And and plus, personally, what I think is that they don't want to get sued for malpractice because it's not something they studied a lot of, you know, about. And they're not, even the ones who are specialists and who are supposed to, will try to deny it. I have one right now that has been for months now, having me take more tests. Even though the last one I had said, yep, here it is. She definitely has it. The CTs, the this, the that. Nope. Still, well, you could also say they just want to run a test. I'm wheezing, man. Do you hear it? Wheezing. But anyway, with that rare health condition, things that happen to me don't usually happen to other people, and vice versa. What works for other people won't necessarily work for me. Okay, it is difficult. You know, like I said, people won't just realize it when they look at me. But I have to, you know, try to figure out everything myself. Because these doctors, they just want to go into denial. They don't want to help. Because they might get sued for malpractice. Trust me, you wouldn't believe some of the lengths they go to. Throwing temper tantrums and stuff like that. And I have yet to find one that was decent. Really. The very first one, the hospital that diagnosed me with CT sent me to, she threw a temper tantrum right off the bat. Threw a temper tantrum. I never went back to her. Okay. And the rest is history. That was in the year 2000. This is 2025. October 2nd, in fact. 4:46 p.m. Anyway, this woman, I guess she didn't listen to all of it, but some of the things that are similar that are happening to me now, she tried to use that on her own videos. That was clue. And this is not my first rodeo. I know this happens. When they find out that I'm saying something negative, they think it's about them. Like I say, it could be any of them. Scripted. So much like scripted. And they start doing this. One of them is one I call the Shelby type. And Shelby is unisex, male or female. And basically, would make fun of people was a hypocrite. Okay, it was a hypocrite type. She found out about that. She would make fun of people that she was making fun of. As a reaction channel, she'd make fun of the way that they pronounce certain words. And I made a comment that this Shelby type, or the Shelby type, she would throw things, and she'd go through them. I've done that a time or two. It makes me think of Ellie Mae Clampett from, what was that show, Hillbillies? What was it called? I don't remember, it was a long time ago. But she would say about the pool, P-O-O-L, swimming pool. She said in one of them, and let me see if I can do it right. It's been years. She's going to throw it in the cement pond. Throw it through. Okay, so I said that, and then she made fun of stuff that I did. And I will tell you, I mispronounce words all the time. I'm probably the most educated person you'll know. I mispronounce grammar mistakes like you wouldn't believe. Maybe you would. But she puts herself up as though everybody should glorify her because she's putting down these other people. Hypocrite. So, that happened with her. It happened with most of them. Many of them. Not most. I have to think about that. So, yeah, I'll think about it. Okay, anyway. This latest one I think she, the latest one to kind of get a clue. Oh, man. Not my first rodeo. I know exactly what they did. Boy, they tried to basically make me look bad. Go right ahead, man. I'm not getting any money. I'm not messing with my audience. The more that they do that, really, what happens is the more they do, they're setting themselves up. Okay? Because the stuff that they're doing, and they're saying in the process, and it could be that they're not even, it could be somebody else. Other people see these things too. And they could be going after, kind of going after them. And they just set themselves up because their actions are so bad when they do that. It's kind of like that, like I've said, so many of them say this, that if anybody tells them what to not do or do on their channels, and, that they shouldn't do this, like some of them have terrible, terrible singing voices, and somebody is out there telling them they don't, they sound so good, and somebody else is saying, no, you're horrible. I say, well, if they told me not to sing, I'm going to sing anymore. And they get really irritating with that. I mean, did you hear that booming? Somebody's driving past here. Music on. But they get really disgusting with the way that they sing. They'll make it sound even worse. Somehow, some way. And it just gets more and more disgusting. Well, they're trying to get back at the person or people who said don't do it, but the rest of their audience is like, ugh, because it's so bad. Their singing voices are bad. And then they'll lie about stuff, like I said, they'll copycat somebody else, somebody else's life, like this one. I was talking about, all of a sudden she had the same health conditions I have. Really now? You don't. No, she doesn't. There are certain signs that I have learned. Doctors, it takes them a while to learn these. But I've learned. And I'm joking with that about the doctors. Some of them, they just deny it. Seriously. It's right there, obvious in front of their faces. They just don't want to see it. For whatever reasons. Some, not all. But anyway, she tried to do that. She quit. Because she couldn't say things. Okay, my mount fell. I did buy a new mount yesterday. I have it here, but I'm not going to put it up until the temperature goes down quite a bit. And because that plastic stuff, it lost its plasticity. Is that the word? It won't stick for very long. And anyway, the mount for my camera. Anyway, so I say wheezing. It sounds like I have a whistle in my throat. It's kind of nerving. But anyway, this she did something else. She's hitting it hard. Okay, if it's me, like I said, it could be somebody. This other. Well, there's another woman and a man that are hitting the ones that they have in like more of a community, hitting them hard. You know, they are hitting the E-Beggar hard, and she could be thinking that they're talking about her because they're so similar. She could be attacking her. You see, there's more than one actually. More than one woman. I was thinking they were the same because I don't really look at their faces, but no, they were two different people. So no, this wheezing is bad. Okay, anyway, and it could be that I'm wrong, but no, because of the thing that would really clued me in was the very first one was my health thing. No, you know, you see that it's so rare. That would be extreme that she would, you know, actually have that when she doesn't have it. You see, so I really can't be wrong, okay, because of the health condition, what she's saying, what she tried to say. She dropped that, by the way. Now, the other stuff is, you know, and I recently, you know, thought, she's trying to confirm it without asking. Am I talking about her? But I've already said these things. I've already said it's scripted. They finish up one, they start another, and then they're going to have people, you know, the whole thing of, look at their comments. Look at their comments. Are all of their comments saying, this is such a wonderful person? You know, the person who's making the videos, the one that's grifting, that, you know, is not obvious to some people. If you're looking at their comments and their comments are saying, oh, those are just haters, or they are just, you know, no, you're such a wonderful person, blah, blah, blah. And there are none that say otherwise, none who are on the other side. In this day and age, I've said this so many times, in this day and age, really, you think that's the case? That it's all going to be good? Where have you been living? Seriously. Well, you know, so in a way, I mean, they have every right to do this. If somebody leaves me a negative comment I don't like, I'd block, delete. You're fine. But I'm not a big channel. I mean, I am, but not. You know what I said. But, like I said, anyway, if they do that, they're real popular and they get all these comments and they're all great, wonderful. They're lying. It's called lying through omission. You can dirty delete all you want. That's what people call it, dirty delete. You legally, legally, I guess, yeah. It wouldn't be an option if it was something you can't do. It is an option. It's something they can do. They can delete the comments. Period. Or like me, I have to approve mine. I don't have to approve them. Period. I can make them, you know, whatever, invisible, delete them, whatever. With somebody who's popular and they don't have any negative ones, or they'll put up every once in a while on the screen a negative one and make fun of the person and try to shoot the person down. So that they're having, you know, I said this, and the next thing you know, they'll have this as an example. They got one, but they just deleted it. When do you ever get to really see them? It's usually whenever they go to sleep. It's usually at night. When they go to sleep, there's somebody in their house goes to sleep, or somebody who's their mod goes to sleep. They don't have somebody moderating it to zap them off. So somebody, middle of the night, wherever, you know, they have to figure out the time difference and all that. And if there is a time difference, stay up, and if you're that curious, stay up late. I've done it just because I have insomnia. And I've caught them. Block, delete. Next morning, they're gone. Gone. Boy, you gotta say that. You gotta be Texan to be able to say that right. Gone. They're gone, man. Gone. I am Texan, born and raised, so. And anyway, you can hear that in some country and western songs from Texans. Anyway. Okay. But anyway, neither one of them, these two women are so much alike. They could say, either one of them could say, I'm talking about them. So let her try to figure it out. You know, she's only doing things that are harmful to her own channel. So by trying to, you know, whatever, we don't know what motivates people. We don't. And I've always said that for years, said that we don't know. I learned that in university many years ago. And we don't know what motivates ourselves even. And then just recently I read somewhere it was one of those AI overviews, you know, I Googled it, and it said that the Bible says that only God knows what truly it doesn't say motivate, uses a different word, but I've said that a lot of these in psychology and sociology and so forth I've seen are just different ways that you can see in the Bible. I don't know about other Bibles, so I can't say about other, you know, holy scriptures or whatever from other religions, but Christianity. So that's the only one I talk about. But I thought that was interesting. Anyway, we don't know what's truly motivating these people to do what they do. We can guess, that's it. And this is not my first rodeo, so I'm judging by what's happened in the past. And I think that's what she's doing. And the most recent one, she's getting more and more bold about it. And what she does is, I've said this before, not in this way, but not in this purpose, but that she constantly belittles her audience. She thinks they're not smart enough to figure out what she's doing. And I've joked and said that my superpower is BS detection. And what I see, you know, is how she says things, then she smiles, and it's a smirk. It's a smirk. Because she knows that there are going to be people who are going to believe her. And she's lying. She is lying. Okay, but she knows people are going to believe her. I can't say that enough. There are some people who will believe her. Send her a donation. Send her some money. You see? She's pushing it again. Pushing it. So I'll keep you updated on that. Really, I'm thinking it's you know, not my first rodeo. Pretty soon there's going to be some kind of reaction channel. You know, it's just too juicy for the reaction channel people. I'm not a reaction channel person. And I don't believe in doing any harm to people. And it's not really, they don't always do harm. Some of them become bullies, though. And, you know, it's just that they're pointing out stuff to beware. That's different in my eyes than people who are bullies and, you know, all that. So, no. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Really, we have a, now get this. We have an air quality problem with ozone and pollution, and in the house I have a hard time breathing. You know, I had heart failure earlier this year, and sometimes I have shortness of breath and I can't breathe. I have to come out, get into my SUV, turn on the air conditioner, which means I have to turn on the engine. Look at the vicious cycle there. What is that doing? You know, mine is I don't know, they say you have a, you know, I think mine is okay. Mine is not that pollution, my SUV, that big of a pollution creator, but I don't know, I can't say. But in order for me to breathe and survive, I have to come out here every once in a while when it gets too hard for me to breathe inside. Vicious cycle sometimes in life. Anyway, I mean, you can look at it with which one's which. And right now, you know, I'm not going to be the big old cause of everything, but it's a tough one. Anyway, not too. Anyway, I'll talk to you on another video.